And they had a total of 108 swine, 22 head of sheep that were exhibited in that very first show. In 1949, they added dairy cattle, 51 added beef, 52 they added the livestock judging contests. By 1953, the show had grown to over 1,000 head of animals by 260 members from 55 chapters. 1955 was the first time they documented that it was the largest FFA show in the nation, and we have held that honor ever since. In 1956, the Children's Barnyard started, now one of the most popular attractions at the fair. In 1957 or 60, records are a little shady, tractor driving contest started, and the FFA chapter house was built next to the Children's Barnyard. The state fair foot the bill. It was $7,800 to cover the whole thing. Don't build any houses for that anymore, do you? In 1958, farm mechanics, which is now ag technology, was added. In 1964, the D.K. Baldwin Award was first presented and still to this day is the highest honor any FFA member can receive at the fair. And we'll be awarding that later this week. In 1970, females began showing at the fair because FFA allowed them in 1969. It didn't take very long, and by 1972, it was the 25th anniversary, and a young gal from New York Mills won the livestock judging contest, beating 217 other individuals. She also had 4 reserve grand champions all by herself. So girls hit it hard running and have never looked back. In 73, they added commercial beef and crossbred heifers, departing from purebred livestock only show. 76, they added the horticulture booth, now today landscape design. 1980, they hit the milestone of the Children's Barnyard having 5 million visitors. In 1997, they started ultrasounding hogs, so adaptation into technology. Every hog was ultrasounded for the first time in 97. 2019 was our record that year, just a few years ago. We had over 2,000 head of livestock, 250 mechanics exhibits, nearly 1,000 crop entries, all shown by 1,153 FFA members from 117 chapters across the state of Minnesota. There was also 7 landscape booths, 11 tractor drivers, and more than 100 members judging in our contest. And then 2 years ago in 2020, we do hold a distinct honor. We actually did have a state fair show that year. FFA had a crop show. All the samples were already collected in the fall and they'd already been judged, and so we hold the distinct honor of giving away the only state fair awards in 2020. So that's just a brief history of the last 75 years. And we have some people here that are gonna make some remarks tonight about the past and maybe a little challenge to the future, and we're very grateful to have all them here. We're gonna start with the guest of honor who's gonna read us a proclamation about this year's fair. Governor Tim Walz.
Thank you. Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you all for being here. Couldn't be more grateful. As I said, this one's personal for me. Some of you, I don't know if this is inspirational or if it will make you turn the other way, but I said I'm a long time and I'm FFA alumni. I grew up in northeast Nebraska on my mom's farm, and she's still there. And I said for many of us, this was part of the heritage that we grew up with. And I can thank and want to thank all of our educators who are out here, all of our advisors, all the folks who make these programs successful. It's a part of understanding a core economic history of that all of us are involved in. And I would also mention this, that Minnesota's role in the world of feeding, of fueling, and of providing the fiber is going to become ever more important. In the time since I was in those FFA classes, the population of the world has nearly doubled. By the time you are my age, that will happen again. It's going to be a hungry world, it's going to be a hotter world, but the technology and the things that we're doing innovatively are going to put Minnesota in the forefront of that to make sure we continue to do that. So I can't tell you, 75 years of being here, 75 years of this education, 75 years of passing down a tradition and a heritage of how important this work is. at a time when fewer and fewer people do it. 100 years ago, the vast majority of people were involved in agriculture. Today it's about 2%. Yet one thing hasn't changed. 100% of people still eat. 100% of people still need the fuel, and 100% of people are looking for that fiber. So we're depending more and more on fewer people with more technology in a hungrier world. So I'm grateful you're here. This opportunity to gather together highlights that. It lifts it up, and once again, we're going to see all of you out here are going to be the leaders in this next generation. We're going to need the experiences that you bring from this and from your heritage to make sure we're making good decisions. So with that, it's my privilege to be able to issue a proclamation on, as you heard, a historic day of many records. The Minnesota State Fair and the Minnesota FFA is hosting their 75th annual show and exhibit. As you heard, participation has increased from 130 head of hogs and a sheep exhibited by 17 members to now over 2,000 head of livestock, 200 ag mechanics exhibits, 900 crop entries, and 1,000 FFA members from over 100 chapters. It's only gotten bigger. And whereas in 1956, the FFA Children's Barnyard introduced the first agriculture interpretive center, the Miracle of Birth Center. And as you know now, 1 million plus people will go through there. And for many people who don't come from agriculture, who don't come from this, it's some of the only opportunities to see how things work, to see where things come from, and it ties us together. The partnership between the breed associations, the commodity markets, the Minnesota Association of Agricultural Educators, and the Minnesota Department of Education enhances learning opportunities for those 1,000 FFA members who are here. So whereas former exhibitors and all the FFA members and friends are invited to celebrate the 75th annual show. So therefore, Tim Walz, Governor of Minnesota, do hereby proclaim Friday, September 2nd, 2022 as FFA State Fair Show Day across the state of Minnesota. Congratulations, everyone.
Well, we do have something for you. We have a little trinket that we want to get you, and I want to give a little explanation. FFA has a history of kind of two things that they always go to in anniversaries and celebrations. One is a button. Here's the 40th State FFA Show Bear button that somebody gave me a couple years ago when I took over this job. I'm keeping that. You can't have that. And then when FFA, the state FFA, celebrated their 75th, the other thing we give away, you guys, most of you actually have a button, so if you don't have a 75th button, everybody's getting those. But the other thing for the 75th, for the state FFA, they gave away keychains. Safety. FFA used to have a very big safety initiative, and it was on the farm. Let's pull the keys. Let's keep things safe. And so for the 75th, they did commemorative keychains. So for the 75th show, we have made 75 custom key rings. There's only 75, okay? And we'd like you to have one of these key rings.
Oh, thank you.
Yep, on the international. All right, we have a few other people that would like to say some words, and then Goldie wants to say some words. Yep.
Go Gophers!
Go Gophers! Big win last night. And then afterwards, we do want a commemorative photo. We're hoping to get everybody to turn around. We have a photographer in the back. 25 years from now, 50 years, 75 years from now, we want a picture that we can look at and show our kids or grandchildren. There I was, okay, so that you're here. But with no further ado, we have a few other people that would like to make remarks. Maybe we bring all three commissioners up here and each one can say something. Mr. Peterson first.
Well, thank you. I'm Tom Peterson. I have the pleasure to serve as the Agricultural Commissioner for the state of Minnesota. And it's a great job, and the fair is the best place that makes that happen. I myself have been over almost 40-year exhibitor here at the fair, and the best thing I think about are the relationships that I've made from that. And it's just every year that the people I know that when I was a kid that I get to see and follow. And the FFA and everything that we have, it's such a bright future, and it's so great to have this view to look out at all of you and think about all the great things that you're going to do. So congratulations. It's great to be here to celebrate the 75th anniversary. Thank you.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Sarah Stroman. I have the pleasure of serving as the Commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources. And I am just incredibly honored to be part of this celebration here this evening, celebrating 75 years of FFA at the State Fair. The DNR has a very special relationship with FFA. For 31 years, we have been giving a DNR Commissioner's Conservation Award to an FFA student who does an outstanding project, and we in fact just issued that 31st award this morning just up the street here at the DNR Park to Catherine Miller, who did a wonderful project on rainbow trout restoration in Browns Creek near her home in Stillwater. And so, yeah, and I'm telling you, every time I get to do these awards and every time I get to spend time with FFA students, I am just incredibly impressed, not only at their understanding of the importance of agriculture in their community, but the connection to natural resources, their leadership skills, and really their dedication to Minnesota. So I'm incredibly proud to be here to offer our congratulations on behalf of the Department of Natural Resources to FFA for 75 years here at the State Fair.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Heather Mueller, and I'm the Commissioner with the Minnesota Department of Education, and I am really honored to be able to be here with all of you tonight. I grew up in Yuma, Arizona, which is an agricultural town, and I have found that probably some of my best memories and experiences were spent at fairs, in barns, with people who were showing pigs and cows and steer and lamb. And so I just really appreciate having the opportunity to be with all of you today. And I know that what we have not only in our crowd with all of you as students, but with also the leaders and your advisors have done remarkable work. And what you do on a daily basis in order to be able to build relationships with your peers, to be able to partner with your animals, and to be able to really recognize that what you're building are lifelong skills are things that we are going to need well into the future. And so I want to thank you for your dedication not only to FFA but to your animals. I know that it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, not only for you but for your families and for your advisors. And so I just want to say thank you for that. I think that the pieces that you are learning along the way are going to serve not only you well, but us well as a society and as a citizenship. I also want to say thank you to your advisors. They do remarkable work. They spend a lot of their time and energy with you, and I know that your successes are built off of their successes. And so I just want to say thank you to them as well. I'd also like to thank Zane from the Department of Education for his work in partnership with FFA and with our agriculture partners as well as with the DNR, because we know that this is a really united and a non-siloed way to do our work, but really recognizes that every single thing that you do in FFA has all types of experiences that mean a whole lot to the rest of what we're doing. And so thank you very much for spending your time doing all of this with your families, with your advisors, and with your peers. Good luck. For those of you that are showing tomorrow, good luck. I hope that you do well. As I walk through, at least what I saw for the cattle, they were amazing. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom, Heather, and Sarah. We appreciate those remarks. Now I'll ask Dr. Mike Schutz from the University of Minnesota Animal Science to come and wish them congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. As a proud alumni of Minnesota FFA and as a representative of the Department of Animal Science, College of Food, Agriculture and Natural Resource Sciences, and the University of Minnesota, I'm thrilled to congratulate all of you and the organization on the 75th anniversary of the shows here at the State Fair. There's Goldie. Goldie, how about a nice cheer for FFA? Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! I'm very proud of the partnership that our faculty have had with the FFA organization over the years. You will be responsible for projecting us into the next 75 years, and congratulations. We look forward to partnering with you on an ongoing basis, and we'll be back here again in 75 years to celebrate the 150th anniversary. At least Goldie will.
He never ages, does he? Congratulations. Nice work. Thank you very much. You got an A in speech class there at the U, didn't you? Absolutely. All right, next. our state FFA Vice President, Natalie Beckendorf.
The Great Minnesota Get Together is easily a summer favorite for many. I mean, how could it not be with eating loads of foods on sticks, heading to the grandstands and watching shows, and all of it. But for me and hundreds of other FFA members, our fair favorite is exhibiting livestock. It was actually like 4 years ago when I was exhibiting my market goat at the state fair for the very first time. My older sister and I brought a total of 4 goats to the fair that year, and we were getting ready to go to the wash rack and get ready for our show later that evening. My experienced older sister gracefully led her goat to the wash rack, and I shortly joined her. As I began lathering on the shampoo, chaos arose from the rest of the barn. As I turned to check out what was going on, that chaos quickly turned into panic when I realized that the rest of my goats were freely running around the barn. That's right, I forgot to close the gate. But to my surprise, a barn filled with loads of people that I had never met before rallied together and helped me gather my goats safely back into their pen. And that's what FFA is about. Having a community of people who will support your successes, failures, and even mistakes in my case. Showing at the Great Minnesota Get Together is truly an incredible experience, but truly it's all of the people involved, parents, advisors, friends, other FFA members, sponsors, and staff that make exhibiting livestock a fair favorite. I just wanted to say congratulations for all making it here, and we are so excited, whether it's your first year at the state fair or maybe it's your 75th and you've been here every single year. We are so happy to be together and be able to celebrate. So with that, I wish the best of luck for everyone exhibiting, and make sure to close your gate.
Thank you for that member perspective, absolutely. Well, we're quickly losing our light for our photo, but we have 2 more speakers that represent our ability to be here. We have 2 representatives from the Minnesota State Fair, Jerry Hammer and Joe Stepanski. If you guys could just say a few remarks from the fair on behalf of your organization. Without you guys, we couldn't be here, so we're very humbled and thankful for it. So we're just curious what you have for us.
Well, I'll let Jerry take care of that because he is the general manager. However, when I heard that you were celebrating your 75th anniversary, I says, so I went to the back of my closet, I pulled my coat out. And you know, all coats fit good, but it's always that darn zipper that doesn't work. Well, then I reached into my pocket, and it's been 50 years since I've worn this jacket. I was state region president, or vice president, and I pulled out this pack of unused Trident gum. Well, this is 50 years old, and if it's like a Twinkie, it's gonna last another 50 years. So anyway, congratulations on doing 75 years. The Board of Managers, if you can wave your hands, most of these guys are FFA members. They're gonna move into the presidency after me. We got Danny Brunwell, Wally Wickman, Gordy Tongas. These are FFA members. These are guys like they were in your shoes years back, and they moved up through leadership roles, doing whatever it is, the choice that they took. Most of us on the board are farmers. So with that, congratulations to all of you, and here's Mr. Hammer.
Thank you, everybody. I grew up about a block away from here in the Como Park neighborhood. So FFA was not in the cards for me as a kid, but I learned about agriculture. My very first lessons about animal agriculture were right here at the State Fair at the FFA Children's Barnyard. How many of you remember Wayno Cordesmaki? Court. was legendary around the fair. He had activities at the Children's Barnyard that were unforgettable, and as a kid, there was nothing better. And what a rooster growing contest. He did all kinds of things happening for kids, especially for city kids like me, to bridge that gap, to learn about agriculture. And in the years since, I've been privileged to work with the State Fair, so that knowledge has become more broad, but it is very true what the governor says. There's less than 2% of the population today lives on farms. So your mission today is even more important than it was when you're at the fair. It's all about educating people about where your food and fiber comes from. And there's no better place than right here at the State Fair. Congratulations on 75 years and having the largest livestock, FFA livestock show in the world for 75 years. And here's to 75 more. Congratulations.
All right, we've got a photographer setting up in back. I know we need all of you to slide down. Everybody turn around. If the stage can stand up and join.